First time on acid, running errands. Doesn't that sound like the last thing that you'd want to be doing? Like, wouldn't you want to just go out into nature or turn your phone off and just watch a movie or listen to some music or just disconnect from the world? Yes, that's exactly what you should want to do, but it doesn't always work out like that. So, I'm going to tell you the deal with how that went down. So, first and foremost, I'd like to thank anybody who's coming here for the first time. And also, I'd like to thank the people who are returning. Let's get those subs up, man. Like, it's free. Like, all you got to do is click one button, and it really helps put the wind into my sails to just keep going. But even now, like, I don't care. Like, I'm trying really hard to do a short and a regular video. And, you know, it can be a little tedious sometimes or whatever, but I still try. And I think I do a pretty good job at it. So, anyways, I'm going to get into my first time on acid and all the bullshit that I had to do on it when I wanted to just relax. Okay? So, this took place when I was between the ages of 15 and 16. Okay? And this is like, I'm going to make a whole video about this, but like, this is what happens when you send somebody to rehab that doesn't really need to be there, that's with people that do need to be there, and they're literally just teaching you stuff about what this is, what that is, what this does, like how you can use this to get that, or mix this to get that, or whatever. So, like, but the main thing is they're drug testing us like randomly. So everybody just starts trying to do drugs like that won't show up on a test, which like most hallucinogens or whatever, like psychedelics, they tend not to show up on a drug test, you know. I don't know about all of them, and I'm sure by now they've came up with one that can get them, but you know, they always said back in the day like they needed to do like a spinal tap or something to like get it, or I know a hair follicle test will get you for the last like 6 months of stuff you've done or something like that. But anyways, um, they would always do like urinalysis and they would breathalyze us and stuff. And I don't even care. I'll tell you, you can fuck up a breathalyzer just by chewing gum. If you're chewing gum, I mean, maybe this was a long time ago, but I just remember like everybody would be chewing gum and they would do it and it would like break the machine or the machine would stop working. So I'm not saying to drunk drive, but that's just something that happens. Okay. So anyways, this was definitely a day like, you know, it's intensive outpatient where I was when I was 15. So that means you're there after school until like 9 o'clock at night for like every day basically. So this had to be on like a weekend or something. So, you know, I was always trying to figure out what I could do besides drinking because I hate drinking. I don't have the stomach for drinking. Like I'm such like the bad. I'm good at beer pong and like games that require skill with like hand-eye coordination, all that. But I just can't. I'm not the guy you want on your team for like a chugging contest or something. Like I will throw up. 100%. I will throw up if I try to chug a beer, a 40, uh, like whatever, you know. Like the times that I've done a beer bong and not like completely yacked, I've been like shocked on my own, you know. So, anyways, um, like I'm in this program and it's a bitch. It sucks having to go there, spend so much time there. The only upside to it is that while I was there were multiple things that happened of people getting arrested and stuff that if I wasn't there, I know that I would have been right there next to like the person who got arrested, like just by guilt by association or whatever, or me doing my own thing. Because just because I was in rehab didn't mean that I stopped at least selling, you know. I stopped doing them, but, you know, if you haven't seen my catching a trafficking charge in rehab video, I'd suggest watching that. That's a pretty good summarization of like what I'm talking about, and it's fully down there. So this day comes where I had gotten some tabs from my homie, and I found someone who lived like 2 blocks away from me that was down a trip. So like I can still remember that like it was me and my homegirl Tina that I've brought her up in another video before, and she lived like 2 blocks down from me, and her pad was kind of like a chill pad, and like I remember we both like we took our tabs, and like we had like the red and blue 3D glasses on, and we were watching the Yellow Submarine by like the Beatles movie or whatever, you know, just like your typical like stereotypical shit that like I think I remember being like, dude, I taste orange right now, like, you know, just like some like stupid shit, but like it definitely was like trippy and stuff, like for sure, like it was not fake or anything like that. So we're at her house, and you know I'm trying to just relax and kind of like enjoy my trip and whatnot, and all of a sudden I get a call, and it's from my homie Robert, and my homie Robert had fronted me like an ounce of bud, and he needed the money for that like right then and there, and he didn't have a car because you have to remember we're 15 or 16, so having a car is a luxury if you have it, but not many people do. So he tells me like, yo man, I need that money, I need to go re-up, blah blah blah, I don't care how you get here, but I need you to get here. So I literally had to take my bike, and I had to ride my bike from Redondo Beach all the way to Inglewood and 190th, which is like not close at all to Redondo Beach. And that was as close as I could get him to come up Inglewood to meet me. And I think he met me on like a bike or scooter or something like that. But I paid him his money, and I went back, and I was on my way back to the pad that was very close to my house. Then, when I'm almost there, I get a call, and it's a kid that is in my rehab. And me and him had been like always talking about business. Like he was from Palos Verdes, which they have a lot of money, so he was always like trying to spend a lot of money, which, you know, that's the name of the game. So like they're definitely like that leads back into, I'm telling you, if you I don't know if I should link it or what, like the trafficking episode or whatever. I'll link it in the description if you want to know. So he calls me, and he's someone that I had become a little familiar with. He was definitely someone that was way more involved in the whole scene than I was. And like I remember seeing him because part of our program was like working out every day for a certain amount of time. And I can remember certain days where he would just be like zonked, like just like sitting on like a pair of equipment, like straight nodding off and shit, like, and you know, I think I asked him what he took, and he said like hydromorphone, like he like said something that I had never even heard of, that I was like, okay, well that sounds kind of gnarly, you know. And so that kid calls me, and he's like, hey man, I need some blow. And I'm like telling him like, you know, like I could get it, you know, like cuz I could. And I was down to make money, you know, like obviously I'm not doing that shit for free, but like so I told him like, yeah, you know, like you're going to have to pick me up and like take me, but like take me and I'll go get it for you. So they have to pick me up, and they're in a car. I remember it was a GMC or whatever car makes a Yukon, one of those like suburban looking cars, and it was completely full, completely full. And what I had to do is I actually had to go to a place that's no longer there, that people from Redondo will remember this place. And it was called, um, fuck, I can't even remember what it was. Oh, Seaside Pizza. And it was a pizza place, but it was also a hookah lounge. And the guy who owned it was kind of like a little shady, like kind of like, I don't know. I wouldn't exactly call him shady, but he was kind of just like low key and kind of, had his hands in a couple pies, whatever. So I'm like, I get that call, and I'm trying, like, they're like literally like, we'll come to you right now, we'll come to you right now. And like I wasn't even back yet, and I was still pretty like not close to where I needed to go. So I go to the Seaside Pizza place, and I bring my bike inside. Swear to God, all of this is true. I go inside, take my bike, go to the very back, open the door, and remember, I'm frying for the first time ever. First time I ever tried it. This is what I'm having to do. So I find the guy, and I ask him. I say, like, and he's a guy that he broke a little like spoken English. I think he was Hispanic, but it doesn't really matter. But I just kept telling him like, yo, like, can I keep my bike here for like 30 minutes? Like, I was like, I swear I'll be right back. Like, please, can I just put my bike here for a little bit? And I was able to actually talk him into doing it. So I put my bike literally in the kitchen behind the door, like where like I never had been back there before. I feel like it's an employee only type place, but this place was definitely weird that you could literally, they had specials where you could literally order a pizza and a hookah, and it would be like a special. Like, it was definitely like, I've never known a place like that before still. And it was kind of a staple. Like, everybody knew about it. So I set my bike down in there, and then I tell the PV kid, I tell him, all right, pick me up on Torrance and PCH. So they come and they pick me up, and I'm like, yo, let me get the cash. And then I go, and I go to Pothead Chris's house, who's someone else who's been in my story that like I'm not, like, just trust me on going through my stories, okay? You'll understand everything. Like, if I was gonna link all the stories that are connected, like, there'd be like 5 at this point, okay? So, like, I'm like not wanting to like do a whole bunch, like, I'm not trying to do, like, I wasn't even trying to go meet my boy Robert in the first place just to drop him off some money. Now I'm like in the middle of this fucking coke deal with like all this money and shit because people from PV have money, straight up. Like, that's just the way it is. It's just one of those towns at the top of a hill that looks down on the people at the bottom of the hill. Not everyone, but mostly everyone. Okay. So, like, I'm I meet up with them, and they, like, the car is full. I remember that the car was completely full. Like, I didn't even have a spot to sit. Like, I had to go in the back of the Yukon or whatever it was, suburban Yukon, whatever. So I had to sit in the back where it wasn't even technically a seat. Like, these fools were mobbing so deep. Like, it's a miracle we didn't get pulled over, but we weren't going super far anyways. So, like, they they take me, and I give my homie the money, and he's like, yeah, I gotta go get it, and then I'll come back, and then I got you. And I was like, all right, cool. Because I trust, like, like, I had a pretty good reputation. Like, if I said I was going to do that for you, I would. So when someone said they were going to do that for me, then, like, I believed them. And, like, 99.9% of the time, that's, like, what ended up happening. So, like, I'm, like, still, like, frying, like, pretty hard, And I, like, I specifically remember, like, I dropped him off the money. He said he needed to go like down the street to get it, and like just he said just to like go somewhere and chill for a little bit, and then to like come back when he called me. And I was like, all right, cool. So finally, he does call me, and we go back over there, and I give it to them, and they're all stoked on it. You know, it's $500 worth, however much that is. I don't know the quantity or prices when it comes to that type of shit, but like they're like all stoked on it, and I can remember Pothead Chris asking me like, "Yo, do you want to do some?" And I remember like giving it an honest thought for a second, but then I was like, "Well, I'm already on acid right now." I was like, "I don't know how great that would like feel right now, you know." So I declined, you know, like, which I can guarantee you further on in life I would have welcomed that. I would have been like, "Oh yeah, for sure, shoot it," you know. But at that time, I was trying to be more timid and everything, and was just like, I don't know, man, I don't know. And like that's that's basically, you know, I eventually did make it back to Tina's house, and we like just did your stereotypical things of like I said, the yellow submarine, um, just like your basic like stuff of like, I don't know, we probably watched some like trippy YouTube videos, or like listen to some music or something like that. But like it ended up being all right, but it was just like that small, or not small, that large period of time that was fucking hectic, that I was just like, damn, dude, like, of all days, like, really today is when everybody needs it. Like, not everyone needs everything, but like today is the day, of course, like it has to land on like this day for me to like handle what's going on. But at the end of the day, like, that's what ended up happening. And like I I actually ended up having like a good trip. It wasn't a bad trip or anything like that, and like I didn't have anything bad to say for it. So like I can remember just being like, "Oh wow." Well, I was like, "That was cool." But, you know, a big part of it was is that I was with someone else that was on my same level, which I talked about in another video, where you can have these like telepathic conversations where you can just look over at someone and they look back at you, and they take like 4 deep breaths, and you say like, "I know, dude. I know." And then they're like like it's really weird. There's got to be some weird science behind that or some shit. I'm not going to figure it out. But anyways, that's my story of my busy ass day on my first day of trying LSD. And I definitely had better experiences with it later on in life, where I didn't have to fucking bike miles and perform tasks and fucking do all this shit and like line things up and all this stuff. But at the same time, I'm kind of proud of myself because I suck at multitasking. I'm really bad at multitasking. Like, I got ADD like a motherfucker. So just the fact that I was able to kind of like pull that off is in its own is like pretty amazing in my like in my book, you know. So anyways, just wanted to hit you guys with a short and a video today, just like every day. um, you know, I got some other stuff that I'm thinking about doing, just talking about some other issues at hand or whatever. But, you know, I got the stories to keep going forever. So if you could please hit the sub button, I'd really appreciate it. You know, if not, it's not a huge deal or anything. Just watching is cool enough. But I think these stories are good enough, worth a subscription that's free, that tells you when I drop a new video. Because I'm dropping new videos once or twice a day, you know. And they're not like your average videos, and they're all 100% real. So, you know, take it how you want, leave it how you want, whatever. I'm appreciative and grateful for everybody who comes and listens. And, you know, I just know, like, I think I said it before, that one day just like what's happened to me in the past, where I find someone and I'm like, oh wow, like I wonder if they have anything else, and then I click on their little thing, and then I see like that they have all these videos, and I'll just go binge it from like one to the next to the next to the next to the next. And I love doing stuff like that, and stuff like that's really helped me out in the past to get through like some very, very dark times in my life. So like I'm just here to pay it forward and to tell my stories the way that they happened, and hopefully people are smarter these days to not make the same choices that I did. So anyways, I'm going to sign off to you guys, so I will see you later. Alright, peace out.